Hey, what's up, guys? No Reach here, taking a look at some of the changes made to Mini-QoL, aka Star-Lord. Um, his elemental gun tree is under a little bit of a change here. Most everything else has remained the same. Cosmic Outlaw, Starship Commander, they're, from what I can tell, all the same. But his elemental gun tree has received some changes. A lot of things are going to be sort of the same, but different. Alright, Elemental Shot is still pretty much working the same. You throw on the air ammo, you hit them, and it bounces. If there were multiple targets around here, then I could show the bouncing, but, you know, I've killed all the dummies. Oops. Alright, and that will pretty much be the same. Earth Shot looks to be about the same. I think the mechanics of the skills themselves, except for this one, Elemental Blast, we'll talk about that in a minute, sort of remain the same. Yeah, yep. Now, Elemental Blast, though, has changed, and it's no longer a charge power. It is now and there's a bug right now. You're going to see me go into T-pose when I use this. The animation for casting this skill is not finished yet. But Elemental Blast, instead of charging it, you just... Stop that. You just hit the button and it charges and sends the beam out itself, you know? So that's sort of cool. I like that change. I'm not y'all have heard me say before that I'm not really a fan of charge abilities, so the fact that you don't have to charge this up anymore, it just sort of charges itself and then fires, is really cool. But the biggest thing that I've noticed so far is the fact that, first off, none of these skills use ammo. Okay, or, sorry, spirit. You know, all of your loading ammo, none of them use spirit. And there's my other buttons. You know, no spirit cost to any of these ammo reloads. Now, this is a little bit weird because once you've loaded ammo, now none of your abilities in the elemental gun tree use spirit. The spirit cost is, at least on these two, elemental shot, spirit cost, you know, you can see it listed there, if elemental ammo is not loaded. If you have ammo loaded, there is no spirit cost. Same with Elemental Barrage as well. It's, you know, this one used to be a basic, it's not a basic anymore, but if you have ammo, then there's no spirit cost for any of these, either of these two skills. Now, does Elemental Blast have the same thing? It does not say it does, but I haven't noticed much spirit loss even with this. Let me just sort of go through a rotation that I was practicing earlier, and you guys can see what you think. Sort of messed it up there a bit, but you know, that's pretty much all of the ammos in conjunction with each other. I started off with air into Elemental Blast into Elemental Barrage because Elemental Blast is going to cause all of your other air effects to do 10% more damage, stacks up to twice, so 20% more damage for any of your other air effects. So if you hit with another, you know, if you hit with Elemental Barrage or Elemental Shot after hitting with Elemental Blast in air ammo, then you're going to do more damage. The same kind of rotation applies to water ammo as well. You turn on your water ammo, you hit with Blast, that slows everything in an area, and then with Barrage, you deal 35% extra damage to slowed enemies. The other two ammos here, Earth and Fire, well, Earth is sort of a mushroom, we'll talk about that in a second. Fire, it works the opposite way, and you stack Ignition Barrage up with Elemental Barrage, and then you hit with Elemental Blast to do 30% extra damage for each stack of Ignition Barrage. It's pretty cool. And then Earth, it's sort of different. It's a wild card between these. It doesn't really have the same rotation, or you really use Elemental Barrage and then go into Elemental Blast. With Earth, you kind of just do whatever. It's got this cool synergy between Elemental Shot and I guess either of these really. Elemental Shot will stack up to 5 times a damage to area powers buff. Stacks up to 5 times. It's not, if it was 10, then it would be 480. If it's 5, then it's half that. So you're looking at 240, yeah, 240 damage rating increase to area powers, which then applies to either Elemental Blast being a area power itself, or to Elemental Barrage, which gains a percentage of your area power damage rating in a single target skill. So, that's just I know it's all very confusing. It confuses the hell out of me, at least. Elemental Gun has always confused the hell out of me. But now, you can pretty much sit here and go through this entire tree, use these abilities just endlessly, and not see any spirit loss. The only time you're using spirit, if I'm reading all this correctly, is when you hit with a blast. Which, messed up my rotation. That's going to be the biggest thing, is when you mess up that rotation. Oh, yep. Don't go from fire into either water or air, because you end fire with a blast and you begin water or air with a blast, and blast has a short cooldown on it. So you can mess up your rotation that way. And Earth, you kind of just do whatever. Earth, you don't even use blast, so you don't worry about the cooldown. Or at least I don't use blast, not in a single target situation at least. But anyway, sort of a rundown on the changes made to Elemental Gun. Now, remember, this is all test center, and things are not finalized yet. So, if you've got any feedback on this, make sure to head to the test center forums and let the devs know. I'll throw a link to, the feedback thread for Mini-QoL, aka Star-Lord, in the description and all that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until the next one, take it easy, have a good one, peace.